Hey, don't get stuck with a fake airline ticket for your next trip. How to spot the scams that are surging again. A new way to save. Bill Rewards lets you earn rewards by just paying your rent and by saving big at Walgreens. A decluttered space gives kids a decluttered mind for school. We're going to show you step by step how to get organized. And watch this before you shop on Amazon. How to avoid buying counterfeit goods. And thanks so much for joining us here on Dollars and Cents. I'm your host, Heather Sullivan. We appreciate you being with us. Okay, we saw record numbers of travelers this summer, people taking to the airways to get away despite the higher prices out there. But how sure are you that you're always talking to a real airline? After the CrowdStrike outage in July that grounded flights for several airlines for days, investigators say there was a resurgence of the fake airline scams. Travelers were desperate to contact their airline, and the scammers knew it. Headed for the airport? Don't get duped. When travelers tweet at airlines for help with flights that are canceled or delayed, the Federal Trade Commission warns scammers continue to pounce with fake airline accounts. Watch this. I tweeted at Lufthansa for help with a canceled flight. The real airline account responded right away, but so did 8 fakes, asking for my name, flight info, phone number, and WhatsApp number. The red flags? The fake accounts were all just opened this month.
People who are trying to get your credentials are using it to generate money. So they're trying to generate whether or not a new credit card, a new loan. They're selling your data online.
Cybersecurity strategist Paul Keener says travelers looking to book flights also continue to come across links and phone numbers that lead to fake airlines. Irina Maris says that she and her family were trying to buy tickets to fly to their uncle's funeral. She says she called the Tampa airport and was given a number for Frontier Airlines.
Frontier Airlines, 1-800-432-1359.
He automatically knew. He knew the flight number, he knew the time, where we were going to be flying out, flying in. So I was like, fantastic, let's go ahead and book this.
But when Amaris and her family arrived at the airport, they discovered their tickets were fake and they missed the funeral. The Tampa airport has now removed that phone number.
If you think that you've been compromised by one of these scams, let's say you start getting emails that look suspicious, or there's weird activity in your bank account, immediately call your bank. Don't wait until the next day. Call them right then and there.
Yes, right then and there. And airlines say they report these fake accounts to the social media platforms, and the social media platforms take them down. But experts say the scammers just keep making new ones because they're using bots to do it. So whether you are buying a ticket or rebooking a flight, I want you to look for the verification checks on those social media accounts for airlines. That helps you make sure that you're talking to the real airline. You also want to look up the airline's real website or app. Download that onto your phone, find their real phone number on that app, or just go and speak in person to the agent at the gate or the lounge. And if you do get a text or an email that your flight has been canceled, don't respond to that message. Instead, contact the airline directly. All right, well, Costco's annual membership fees are going up. The hike was announced in June. This is the first time that the chain has charged more for its membership since 2017. The change is expected to impact 52 million membership holders across the U.S. and Canada. Most memberships are going up from $60 to $65. The executive membership is going up from $120 to $130, but the executive cash back reward program goes up from $1,000 to $1,250. And getting cash back at the store, it's an option. They can save you that extra trip to an ATM. But saving cash really depends on where you go. A federal agency is naming the major retailers that charge you for withdrawing your own money. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says Kroger, Dollar General, and Dollar Tree have charged their customers a fee for cash back requests in recent years. The agency says the fees add up to more than $90 million a year. Well, your next trip to Walgreens could cost you a lot less. Here's why. Consumers forfeit hundreds of dollars every year from their unused flex spending accounts or health savings accounts. But now there's an app for that. It's called Built Rewards that can help you save on those everyday purchases. Fox's Eben Brown shows us how it works.
Inflation remains stubbornly high, and more Americans are pinching even more pennies. But a new high-tech solution is using an old form of rewarding you for trying to save a buck or two. Built is a company focusing on what they call neighborhood reward programs, making sure you're earning miles or bonus points for simply paying your rent or your mortgage. But now they're expanding to another wallet buster: healthcare spending. Built is partnering with Walgreens, giving customers automatic discounts on products through their own flexible spending accounts or through government programs.
The problem is that there isn't easy ways today for customers to take advantage of all the savings that they otherwise could have access to.
It's easy to use. After downloading the Built app, just go shopping. The app automatically applies available savings with a single tap of your screen, and you don't need a new credit card. Built members can shop using any form of payment linked to their accounts.
Most people don't realize it's not just prescriptions. I mean, everyday things like your cough drops, toothpaste, even sunscreen are eligible for these up to 40% savings, right?
And the company also plans to expand into other areas, hoping to improve customers' experiences and save them more money.
That's just a more convenient, it's an aspirational experience, and there's value behind it, right?
And the Commerce Department says about $4 billion is lost each year to customers who forget they have a flexible spending account or forget how to use it. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
All right, school is back in full swing across our area, which means lots of homework, lots of projects, and that can leave your child's space a bit cluttered, right? And staying organized can really help kids in school. So we invited a home organization specialist, Melanie Summers. She's a professional organizer, and she even specializes in ADHD organizing to help us all get more organized. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm excited to talk to you about this.
Likewise. Thank you for having me this morning.
Well, first, let's dive into how it can really help children, really students of any age, to be organized.
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember going to school as a kid in the 1900s and being very excited about school supplies. So it's really all about motivation at the beginning of the year. So it's a fresh start. And there's also a psychological impact that comes along with being organized. There's a lot of brightly colored items that kids have, and there's branding everything is designed to draw our attention. Marketers know what they're doing. And so clutter is extremely loud, and it can be very distracting and prevent us from having a good learning environment at home. So it's a really good idea. It's actually very crucial to cut the clutter noise so that you can have a space that fosters a good learning environment and focus at home.
Okay, so let's dive into how do we do that. And I see you've got some great video on how you've made some of that happen. Tell us your secrets.
Absolutely, yeah. So I do homeschool my kids. And so having a learning environment, obviously I have to have a classroom at home. So I've had quite a lot of practice at doing this for myself and for my clients. And the biggest thing comes down to preparing your space. It's a very overwhelming process, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second, but having your space prepped to organize and declutter makes all the difference. So setting up a flat surface area where you can sort through things, having bins or baskets, just dump laundry baskets and use those as a place to use your 4-box method. I usually have about 5 boxes. And then I'm actually starting with something called trash bag therapy, which is basically taking a trash bag and going through all the low-hanging fruit, all of the trash, all the things you don't know you need, that you know you don't need in your space, and just clearing the slate of that. So once that's out of the way and you have those sorting bins set up in that space to sort, then the sort of visual overstimulation of bringing everything out into your space that drives people crazy is a lot less overwhelming. And so you just work from left to right, top to bottom, and go through and categorize everything. And then once that's done, you can get into implementing vertical storage solutions. That is my biggest #1 tip. If anybody takes away one thing from this segment, it would be that, is implementing storage systems that eliminate the need to search for things front to back, where stuff gets lost in the backs of cabinets and underneath other things. Having things stored vertically on walls or top to bottom in a cabinet can make all of the difference, because you make everything visual without having to search.
I love all of these very specific tips. This is fantastic. What's your advice for getting the kids involved in helping with this process?
I'm so glad that you asked that question because this is definitely one of those things that can make or break the kids' experience with getting organized, and it helps to really start them early. And I've learned this with my kids. I have a 4 and a 6-year-old, and then of course with all of my clients and their children. Involving your kids is so crucial. From the moment that they're old enough to show preference, like they can tell you their favorite color, their favorite book, their favorite whatever. Once they start to show preference, you can start to have a conversation with them about how they want their space to function, what they want in their room. You can help your kids curate their space so that it inspires them. And when it comes to a learning environment, it's important to curate the space with things that inspire them. If they like geology, you want to fill their space with rocks. If they like art, you want to involve painting and so on and so forth.
Oh, cool.
And then it's also Yeah. And it's also really important to know their learning style. So if they're a kinesthetic learner, making their environment adapt for that. And also if they're a visual learner, things like that. And maybe your kids don't want to be locked away in a room. Maybe they want to be out amongst the people in the dining room and they need a portable homework station, things like that. So
Melanie,
that can really help to give them ownership.
We could talk for hours about this. You have so many great ideas. I'll definitely have you come back and we'll talk some more about it. Melanie Summers, professional organizer, thanks so much for being with us and sharing all these great insights.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'll see you again later.
You bet.
All right, weren't those really awesome tips? Really, they can help you organize any room. But let's talk now about buying more stuff. You may have been duped on Amazon and not even known it. There are reports suggesting that anywhere from 10 to 60% of products on the site may contain counterfeit components. So Consumer Reporter Steve Noviello shares some tips on how to spot and avoid those fakes.
Amazon really taking a proactive approach here. The company even has a counterfeit crimes unit. The report we're talking about comes from Seller App. That's an e-commerce consulting company. And when you look at the numbers, chances are you too may have fallen victim. Now, not a huge deal if you're buying a toothbrush that breaks prematurely, but if you end up riding around on a rechargeable lithium battery that's got counterfeit components, there could be a real danger there. So the folks over at Lifehack have said, listen, here's kind of the best way to mitigate your risk. Number one, try to avoid buying things from third-party sellers on Amazon. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are bad news, but again, this is about adding extra layers of protection for you. And you might not even realize you're doing it. Take a look at these Bose headphones. This is the same page, the same listing, but change the color, and one is shipped by Amazon, another is shipped by a third party. So you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, what if I just stick with those things that have the little blue check mark next to it? Well, unfortunately, unlike on social media, the blue check mark doesn't mean verified or double checked. All it means is Prime, which essentially means that these items are shipped to you from an Amazon warehouse, which is how they get there so quickly. Well, Amazon has a program called Fulfilled by Amazon that allows third parties to send their products to Amazon warehouses where they're shipped directly to consumers. So again, just because it's being shipped from an Amazon warehouse doesn't mean it's actually being sold by somebody who's not a third party. And as for those reviews, listen, I know that we love to read them, but I would trust the bad ones more than I would trust the good ones. If somebody's on there saying this product is terrible, I would stay away. A company called FakeSpot actually did a big online study of Amazon reviews and found that there were tons of fake ones out there, particularly in categories where folks are not brand loyal, things like slippers, for example. So how do you know you're dealing with the real stuff? Well, when you look at a listing like these JBL speakers, for example, you can actually navigate to that manufacturer's specific storefront on Amazon. That way it gives you the security of buying directly from what's essentially the company website with the convenience of having something shipped to you quickly from Amazon. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
We always do. Thanks, Steve. All right, Lyft is now testing its own rider verification program to help keep you safe. The pilot program is similar to what its competitor Uber did earlier this year. It's designed to help drivers verify the person getting into their vehicle, that they are who they say they are. Lyft will verify riders by their legal names. A verification badge will pop up on the customer profile. The program is currently being tested in several U.S. cities, including right here in Houston.
And part of why we saw so many road warriors this holiday weekend is because gas prices are down. They're down in Texas by about 50 cents from this time last year. Stephen Dial with Fox 4 in Dallas talks with AAA about why this is happening and what it means for you.
Normally I spend about $60, $70 to fill up my gas tank. I think I'm saving about $10 now.
As inflation continues to impact Texans, AAA Texas says drivers will continue to see some relief at the gas pump.
$2.95 is the average today. It's down 13 cents on the week, down nearly 50 cents when you compare it to last Labor Day. So certainly lower gas prices could spur some people to go ahead and take that road trip that they were debating.
Daniel Armbruster with AAA Texas says the downward trend at the pump could last throughout the fall.
When gas prices go up, everything else goes up as well. Costs of food and everything on the market is delivered by, those products are delivered by vehicles that use either diesel or gasoline. So when gas prices are higher, everything else is higher as well. So does that mean that prices will come down on everything? We don't know that, but we do know that gas prices are at least down about 50 cents compared to a year ago, and likely will be a little bit cheaper as we go into the fall.
He says while inflation is connected to a lot of things, gas prices are also impacted by things like the conflict in the Middle East and hurricanes.
Crude oil prices are about $15 less per barrel. Crude oil is the main ingredient in gasoline, so if crude oil prices stay down, we'll likely see gas prices on the retail level stay down as well.
The average for a regular gallon of gas in the Dallas metro is below the state average, sitting at $2.89 a gallon, down from $3.03 last week. Armbruster says about 90% of those traveling this Labor Day weekend will do it by car. Texas has some of the lowest gas prices in the country. AAA says particularly is due to being close to the oil and gas industry on the coast. Texas also has lower fees and taxes.
When I pulled up to the pump, noticing the gas prices was under $3, I was like, it's great to now have some type of economic relief, starting with gas prices. Hopefully it'll dwindle over to food costs.
Stephen Dial, Fox 4 News.
Yeah, we all hope so. All right, well, does this apply to you? More consumers are waving bye-bye to buying and choosing to rent things instead, and it's for a surprising reason. A Credit Karma survey says nearly 3 in 5 Americans who already rent or lease homes or other goods are choosing a rent-first option. It's not just to save money. A quarter of them are doing it for the flexibility. You don't have to stick with it forever. And 27% like trying things out before buying. 21% say they want to stop all the over-consuming and just buy less stuff. Feels better when you have less stuff. All right, a Virginia father has given his son and new daughter-in-law an incredible wedding gift. He handed them a $1 million winning lottery ticket that's really giving them a new start in life. Josh Rosenthal with Fox 5 in D.C. talked with this very lucky couple.
What are some gifts that people gave you guys for your wedding?
We got towels.
Like a knife set.
A personalized cutting board.
And then there was the gift that led to this.
He said, "This is it. Here you go."
Aaron and Kiana Andrews aren't just newlyweds, they're lottery-winning newlyweds. All thanks to Aaron's lotto-playing dad.
He was driving past the store, and the store actually put up the sign that we sold a winner prior to him checking his ticket.
So Dad checked his recently purchased ticket and found out he won, opting to give the winning cash for life ticket to his son.
Once I got off the phone with him, I called her and let her know, and she didn't believe it.
And he's like, "No, for real, my dad really did win." And I was like, "No, he didn't." And he's like, "Babe, I'm not kidding. He really did."
He wants to set us up for success and his future grandkids up for success as well. I'm very thankful for him. Thankful for him playing the lottery.
The ticket allowed the young couple to choose between what the Virginia Lottery says is $1,000 every week for life or a lump sum of $1 million.
Make some noise, make some noise, make some noise!
On the advice of a financial advisor, they opted for the cash, saying they plan to use it to help Aaron's grandma start college funds for their future kids. And eventually, they hope to buy a house.
How fiscally responsible, guys.
Here's the thing about the house, though. The Andrews are actually mid-move right now. Their plan, which they came up with before the winning ticket, is to move out of their home in Springfield and move in with Aaron's dad in Triangle. They'd hoped to stay for a while and save some money. Now, though, it sounds like Pops may have other plans.
He was like, yeah, I'm actually really, I'm low-key giving it to him so they can get out of the basement.
He said he was only giving you the ticket to get you out of his basement.
Yeah.
All right, well, 9 people have now died. 57 others have been hospitalized in connection to a listeria outbreak in Boar's Head deli meat. Now, Boar's Head has been a popular brand for years, so what went wrong here? Fox News' Nate Foy takes a look at what led to the outbreak at the plant in Virginia.
Newly acquired records show this Boar's Head processing plant in Virginia has been tied to a deadly food poisoning outbreak and repeatedly violated federal regulations, including the presence of mold, insects, liquid dripping from ceilings, and meat and fat residue on walls, floors, and equipment. Victims were sickened with listeria after eating deli meats processed here. A woman who survived her bout in the hospital recounts her symptoms.
I just want to say it was hell. I've never been so sick in all my life.
U.S. Agriculture Department officials say the plant will remain closed, quote, until the establishment is able to demonstrate it can produce safe product. Boar's Head officials halted production at the plant in late July. Records didn't contain any test results that confirm listeria in the factory, but the bacteria thrives in hard-to-clean cracks and crevices. Pests such as flies can easily spread the bacteria. And once ingested, it can spread to several organs and cause all other kinds of complications.
And what can happen is the listeria, the pathogen, can cross from your gut into your blood and causes invasive illness.
Boar's Head has recalled more than 7 million pounds of its products.
When in doubt, throw it out. So if you have deli meat sitting in your refrigerator, or quite frankly in your freezer, and you don't know where it came from, I would recommend being cautious.
On its website, Boar's Head writes that all the issues raised by government inspectors were addressed immediately. In New York, Nate Foy, Fox News.
All right, and that's our show. Thanks so much for joining us. Drop me a line anytime on Instagram, Facebook, and X. It's all Heather Sullivan, Fox 26. I love getting your notes. And you'll find more ways to save every day on Sullivan Smart Cents on fox26houston.com. And we'll see you next time right here on Dollars and Cents.